Hello and welcome to Pest Perspectives, episode number 31. This week we have on Graeme Turner from Nurture Pest Control. Have I got it right, Graham?
Not quite. Nurture Pest Control.
Nurture! Done it again. Goodness sake. Okay, I've done it again. There we go. I was practicing before and I messed it up live, I thought. I don't know why I have such a problem with it. How are you doing anyway?
I'm doing very good, thank you. Just busy as always, but managed to fit in some time for you, Sean.
Thanks for that. We booked it quite a while ago, didn't we?
Yeah,
we did.
About 2 or 3 months ago, actually.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Far enough ahead, I'll forget about it by then, but
yeah,
it always comes around, doesn't it?
I'll be honest, I've booked up till mid-December now. So I'm quite booked up the podcast, I am. This week I've got two podcasts this week, so I've got Go for Girl on tomorrow as well, from America. But yeah, I enjoy doing it and people seem to enjoy listening, so it helps everyone learn. The idea is people learn. If you learn something, then job done.
Yeah,
it is
you're
really
going to learn something, aren't you? That's right.
Exactly. So, Graham, how did you get in to pest? Now, hang on, sorry. Do you want to give people a brief run through of who you are and what you do and where you've been? That might take a little bit, though. I'll give a brief version.
I don't know if I can do it briefly, but where have I come from? I suppose I had holiday jobs when I was at school of working on farms, and that got me interested in sort of animals and the pests. I remember one school summer holidays actually squeezing the warble flies out of the backs of cattle, which is a bit of a strange job, but that's one thing we did. Obviously, those cattle pelts weren't any good because they'd have had big holes in them.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I was intrigued with wildlife from that age, and then when I went to university for my first degree, I studied what was called applied zoology, but it was basically pest control because it was zoology applied to agriculture and to medicine. So we looked at pests of agriculture and pests of people. So lots of so we covered things like mosquitoes and malaria. And that sort of thing, as well as agricultural pests. And I liked it so much that part of that undergraduate degree was doing an insect collection. So even back then I had to collect insects and identify them, run through keys, see what they were, catalogue them, and so that got me even more fascinated in insects. And then I decided to specialise in that for my masters and did an insect control masters. Okay, it wasn't public health insect control; it was horticultural. Actually, it was connected with agriculture and horticulture, but I specialised in horticulture, and then moved on to a bit of horticulture, you could call it, after that, which was mushroom farming. But the thing that intrigued me most with the mushroom farming was the massive infestations we sometimes got of forage flies in the compost and cearid flies or fungus gnats in the mushrooms. So both of those were intriguing, and I didn't like the repetition of mushroom farming. It was the same thing each week. We'd fill one growing cell with compost, we'd take compost out of another one, and we'd harvest mushrooms in another one, whatever.
So it soon got boring. Got boring.
Absolutely. I moved on from that to working for the Wellcome Foundation, actually doing research. And I was doing my main project there. It was only a temporary contract while somebody was on maternity leave. My main project there was to develop a vegetarian diet for mosquitoes, because they had this branch of Wellcome was testing all sorts of new insecticide products on different insects to see how well they worked. We had colonies of houseflies and store-point insects and cockroaches and all sorts, and mosquitoes. And the mosquitoes we had been breeding on guinea pigs, So you'd put a guinea pig on top of their cage to feed them, and we used to use the guinea pigs repetitively. It wasn't, they didn't seem to notice it. Didn't seem to be a problem for them. But the Home Office brought out a new regulation that we could only use them once, because that was counted as an experiment, and then we had to kill them and use another one for the next feed.
Oh, I better not tell my kids they love guinea pigs.
So that got a bit expensive on guinea pigs, and we didn't feel it was right. So I developed a vegetarian diet to keep the mosquitoes happy. It was a mixture of a baby food formula and lots of different amino acids and that sort of thing. And that kept the mosquito colony going without having to use guinea pigs. So that was
nice.
That was a useful project. Then I decided that I fancied working in pest control, having been working. So I was helping them breed the store-bred insects there, and the houseflies and the cockroaches. And then I got a job with what was National Pest Control. And they then became National Britannia, who became Ecolab. So it was national.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
It was National Pest Control, a national company when I was working for them.
Okay.
So worked for them for a while, and then saw a job advertised in ADAS, where they were looking for somebody to do consultancy on pest control, but also do the phytosanitary inspections at the docks of the grain going for export, to look for store-bred insects in them.
Sounds interesting. Was it quite interesting? Any funny stories involved in that, or interesting stories?
Not particularly funny stories. It was, I remember even back then we were issued with Airstream helmets. So, grain and the dust from grain and insects, whatever, it's a hazardous environment, so we have to wear masks. And back then it was Airstream helmets we were issued with, because they were a lot more comfortable, because we were spending a fair bit of time in amongst all the dust. And we were there with iGrox, who did regular spraying of the grain as it was going along the conveyor. So yeah, all interesting work. But what I enjoyed most there was we did a lot of training on the pest control industry. So at ADAS, I don't know if you've heard of somebody called Ed Allen. I worked with him, with Jeff Sanderson, Kerry Coombs, a lot of people who are very talented in pest control. And together we did a lot of training of the pest control industry. And we actually wrote the original, what's now the British Pest Manual.
Nice.
It was ADAS. It used to be the ADAS manual. So it was written by ADAS consultants.
I've got a really old manual. It's like one of them. It's like pages. It's like a folder. My dad got hold of it. It's that might be it.
Okay.
If I can find
it. If it says ADAS on it, that might be one of the originals.
I'll have to look it out, because he got hold of it. I don't know how he got hold of it, but he gave it to me. I'll have to see if I can find it. It might be that one. It might
things have probably changed since then.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, because I read it. Then I've done my RSPH level 2 award in pest management, and a lot have changed.
Absolutely. It does. It needs to be regularly updated. So, so the BPCA bought it. I have worked on it since, actually, because I rewrote the bird chapter back in 2012.
Okay, very nice.
I did have my name in it for a while, but they then decided to remove it for some reason, along with all the other contributors, and just had Adrian Mayer and Ed Allen and Karen. So I don't get recognition for it now. I did ask, actually, about.
Don't worry, I will get this clip. Don't worry, I'll get your recognition for you. Don't worry.
I did ask about 4 or 5 months ago if my name can go back in, but they've been umming and ahhing and haven't made a decision as yet.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure why it's quite such a hard decision, but there we go.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was. Oh gosh, where did we get to? We got to working with ADAS. I then saw a job advertised with what was called Network Pest Control Systems, and which was the manufacturers and distributors of bird proofing equipment. So went to work as their technical manager, designing products for them. I went through the whole range of products that they already had and improved them and came out with new ones. So invented things like the Avishock electric deterrent.
Very nice. I didn't know you were an inventor, Grahame. You're a dark horse there. I did not know. Wow, that's cool. Absolutely. That's cool.
Lots of the products are my design of the bird proofing products. So I worked for them for quite a few years actually. That they were then bought up by P&L Systems. It became Pelsys.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
Then I moved on to what was Mighty.
I've heard of Mighty a lot.
Mighty, we're getting a bit more recent now. Yeah. Mighty became Terminix after Rentokil bought Mighty, but the Competition and Markets Authority said no, you can't keep you can't have the biggest company buying the third biggest company, so we'll have to split you back up. So they became Terminix, and Terminix has now become Virgo. So
Terminix is gone.
Yeah,
it's just been sucked up.
Gone. Well, not in America, but it has in the UK.
Yeah, because in America it's called Rentokil Terminix, isn't it? Or Terminix Rentokil, one of the two.
So Rentokil bought Terminix in the UK, but Terminix bought Rentokil in America, I think. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
So I moved on from there to set up my own consultancy called Pest Security, which I did for a couple of years, doing mostly field biologist visits.
Nice.
And a consultancy to the food industry on pest control. And then I moved on from there to the MPTA. And I was with the MPTA for a couple of years, two and a quarter years, before moving on to Nurture this April. So that's a potted history. It's a long career in pest control. I've seen it from many different angles.
You definitely have. It's you've worked for a lot of different companies. I didn't know how long you were with the MPTA for. I thought you were with them for a lot longer than that. I didn't know how long you've been there. I didn't.
Yeah, 2.25 years. I took over from John Hope when John Hope decided to leave and set up his own training consultancy. They then advertised for a replacement, and I moved in then. So that was January 2.5 years ago now.
Okay. See, I didn't know how long you were there for because I was, I thought it was a lot longer. Lucky I didn't say,
We did a lot in that time.
You did.
So yeah, we sort of changed the accreditation process to make that more stringent and more beneficial for members. Introduced a lot more training, interesting courses. So. Focused on things like some of the health and safety aspects and the science of insecticides and that sort of thing. So, moved on from what it was previously, and it's moved on so much more now that Kevin's there as well.
The particular new board that keeps suggesting stuff.
The new board, like yourself, helps as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, but no, it's been. Literally, you don't have to have a board meeting to get something to happen. You can suggest it. Certain people like it, and it happened. It's like the new CPD quizzes each month. That was me, by the way.
Yeah, well
suggesting it, and now it's happening every month. Each technical trainer is going to make at least one CPD quiz a month, so the content can be built up for members. So. It's nothing new, I'm sure, but it's just content for the website for members to log in and just do some CPD.
You can, a quiz you can learn quite a bit quite quickly because you have a question and you think, well, I don't know the answer to that. I'll look that one up.
These quizzes have got videos though. They've got videos, accompanying videos. They're kind of like how you did the crew ones for the MPTA, kind of like that.
Yeah. So you get a video with the answers first, and then you try and remember them for the quiz.
Well, you see if you can remember them. I haven't done the new ones yet, even though I should have done because I said, But yeah. So, with your, there's so much I could ask you, really, isn't there? There's loads. So, obviously, you're a technical trainer. What's your best ways? Because obviously learning is because some people learn in different ways. What's your favourite way to teach people? Which way do you think the best way is to teach people? Obviously face to face, obviously.
Absolutely. I find well, I find doing training via Zoom or the likes, I find incredibly tedious because you're not getting the proper signals back from the audience. Quite often they turn the cameras off, and I find it tedious for myself, and I find they don't learn so much. They're not quite receptive to the learning. It's so much better in a classroom. I will do classroom training wherever I can.
Do you do that in your new? Do you do that in your new role? Is it all in house? It's not online in your new role. Is that all?
Well, we have to do some things online because we're a national company.
Oh yeah,
we can't be travelling everywhere, but we do a lot of face to face. I've certainly made sure of that. So, for example, we're having meetings with all our staff regionally every quarter, so that we have a sort of day with them, so that we can teach them some new things, do a bit of health and safety, and also cover a bit on other aspects while we're there on state of service and that sort of thing. So I do think it's important for people to meet face to face, especially when they're out on the road on their own all the time. It is important to meet up, not just to hear training or watch training, whatever, or participate in training, but also to talk with each other, because you can learn a fair bit just from speaking with other pest controllers.
You can. It's like, obviously I do work with my dad, so it's not as lonely, but I do speak to a lot of technicians that are on the road by themselves. I've become friends with them. I'm going to meet some of them actually at Pest Tech this year. And
it's a good place to meet people.
It is. I'll meet you as well. I'll say hello. I didn't get to see you last year.
I was busy doing the seminars for the whole day last year. I came down at about 4:00.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the end of the day, really.
Yeah, I've sorted something different out for this year. We're sorting the rotor out so people can rotor around. Because obviously that's a massive learning curve, Pest Tech, as you've been through it all, you know what it's like. But it's not like I thought. It's a lot harder to put together than I thought. But it's fun. It is. But yeah, we're going to do a rotor so someone's not stuck in a room all day long, and it's going to be rotated round so other people get a chance to do different things and have a look round and network with people rather than being stuck in one place. So,
well, I think the excellent thing this year is the cafe is going to make a big difference. That'll be a good networking place.
It will.
And to get sponsorship from different pest control companies and the like to help pay for your free coffee and things, that sounds excellent to me.
It was.
Yeah.
And one of the sponsors was
who?
Nurture.
Nurture. You might get it right eventually. We're actually going to take some, but because we've got a big department that does house plants and the likes as well, we're going to take some house plants along to put around the cafe area.
Oh, nice.
And we're also taking a bug shelter with which is a place for some of the likes of mason bees, solitary bees to make nests in. But one of our divisions makes a lot of those with different companies around the country for their name signs outside the company offices and the like. So we're going to take one of those along.
That'd be good to have a look at. I will.
Absolutely.
I'll come by. I hear you've got a stand. Is that right as well?
We have a stand as well. Absolutely. Yeah, that's to promote our training and maybe to do some recruiting as well, because we're a massively expanding company.
Yeah.
We're taking on new contracts right, left, and centre. So we might get some interesting people joining us at the.
You might do. It's a lot of people go. Usually, well over 1,000 people. So you might get some interest there. You might.
Yeah, but my main role in Nurture is as the training academy manager. So
yeah.
So we're working on RSPH level 2. We've had quite a few external candidates, so we're not just doing it for our own company, we're doing it for external candidates as well.
Yeah, because the MPTA now advertise it through yourselves. They do as a course people can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's on the MPTA website for people to do RSPH level 2 training. We're also starting doing RSPH level 3 training for anybody.
Okay.
And this is relatively new and would be of interest to some people, is that Nurture are offering field biologist training, but also the MPTA have developed a certified field biologist qualification. And so you can now do the certified field biologist qualification from 2 different providers.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that qualification.
No, that is news.
It is. So, there you go.
Yeah, so there is now an NPTA certified field biologist qualification. It's not quite exactly the same as the BPCA one. It's better in my view. But there we go.
I've never done one of them before, but it sounds interesting. It is good to have a different one, because I think, I might be wrong, you might get people that have got the BPCA version want to do the MPTA version as well. You never know. You never know.
I can't quite imagine that, but I think there will certainly be a lot of interest in the MPTA one. It's it is a great qualification, because you learn about insect identification, you learn about what's important to the bigger food manufacturers. Because in my view, that's the interesting pest control, where you start to identify insect species and work out where they've come from and how to do your what the best thing is to do to make sure they don't become a problem.
So that course sounds like, although it is a field biologist course, it could be very, very good for people that want to do work at food manufacture as well. In general, it could be.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So the course I'm offering at Nurture is a 2-day course. It's
Nurture.
Not 2 consecutive days. It's 1 day, and then you go away and you have some homework to do and some practice your scientific names of insects and that sort of thing, and come back and we have a second day, and then the exam isn't held directly at the end. It's an MPTA exam. It's not a Nurture exam, so that will be whenever the MPTA hold their exams, and that will be regionally in different locations.
Okay, yeah, no, it sounds good. You knew more than me on that front. I've seen it in a document, let's put it that way, but I hadn't seen it talked about elsewhere. I hadn't yet. But you spilt the beans.
Well, that's some hot off the press news for you.
It definitely is. But I'm sure a lot of people will want to do it, because it sounds quite interesting. It does, to be honest.
Well, yeah. So I'm slightly biased, but certainly I think the training that I offer is interesting, and it'd be a good.
I haven't actually done any in-person training with you, but I was on a food manufacturing course on a Zoom call once.
Oh yeah,
you did a good job then, but I can't comment in person. I imagine it's even better. I would have thought, because you're
judge.
Well, you're MPTA. You've been MPTA, so you must be gold standard. So there you go.
Absolutely. I did enjoy working for the MPTA, I have to say. It's a great organisation to work with.
That's good to hear, that is. So, with all your experience with, obviously, you've done accreditation, you've worked through all the paperwork that actually you probably know a lot of pest controllers not always in line with what they should do. If you were to say somebody was to set up a pest control company, what would you say was some of the tips you could give to make their job easier in regards to getting ahead? If it's like compliance or your paperwork, is there any tips you could give for somebody to get everything right on, the early startings?
Absolutely.
Basically.
I think the biggest tip would be to join an organisation like the MPTA, where you've got advice on the end of a phone. You've got lots of example documents to use, specimen documents. So you get a lot of support, because if you're starting something new, you can never know everything in pest control. even I don't know everything in pest control. You know, people who've been in it for a whole lifetime, they don't know it. They could never know everything in pest control. So it's always useful to have somebody else to bounce things off. So I do recommend joining a trade association. I do think that's the first thing anybody should do, probably. And in terms of documentation, one thing I noticed a lot with doing field biologist visits on all sorts of different companies and doing audits on companies is the thing that lets them down, or one of the things that lets them down, is their health and safety. I see a lot of very poor safety documentation. I've heard of people saying, "Cost assessments, well, I don't need to do that. Why do I need to do that?" Or saying, if somebody asks them for a cost assessment, they just give them an MSDS sheet. Well, no, that's not a cost assessment.
Well, that's not a cost. You should have one in the folder, shouldn't you? Wait, you're supposed to.
There's a lot of lack of knowledge of those, and there's a lack of knowledge of how to do risk assessments, I find. So, and that's why I developed the course with the MPTA on basically risk assessments, cost assessments, and safe systems of work. And it's a whole day course, so it goes into a lot of detail on what a hazard is, what a risk is, and what a control measure is, and basically how to do a risk assessment, because it is something that so many people are naive on, and I've seen so many very poor documents. So I do think that is something critical. It's a legal requirement. Okay, if there are fewer than 5 of you, you don't have to have them written down, but 5 or more you do, and I recommend you do for certainly for any more than one. It's much better to write these down so that you know what the company policy is. So I do recommend that. So that's one thing, and the other thing is to get your report format looking good, so that when you write reports, they're clear, they're concise, the client can see exactly what you're recommending. So that format is good, and there are lots of different software options these days. So although it's not my forte to say what the benefits of each system are, I would look around at those and start with a software system straight away, probably, rather than handheld forms. Those are the things of the past, really.
Funny
I'm not
you
sure
should
what you use. Do you use handwritten ones?
Funny you should say that, because I had a chat with Paul. Paul Westgate was on here, and he was telling me that although it's good, he was saying he does obviously audits on food manufacturing, and he reckons that food manufacturers don't generally like digital. They love paperwork, because he says sometimes you can't get access to the computer, and they'd rather have it physically in a big folder of paperwork. He said that a lot of food manufacturers don't like digital. That's what he was saying in his experience. They've had no end of problems with digital systems. They have.
They do like folders, but I think you'll find they'll prefer it if the report was typed, so it's been done on a digital system, and they just print it out.
Oh, okay.
That is what they would prefer. They don't want to see handwritten ones. That is, in my view, that's something of the past, and especially when people's handwriting is barely legible. Fine if you're just doing a domestic.
That's probably what he meant. But he meant they're like paperwork, so it's all in the folder. Maybe that's what I mean. Print it off. That's what he probably meant.
Is what they would normally do. Yeah, absolutely. So,
and that's to your question. Sorry, carry on. Sorry.
I was going to say it's much better if it's written out clearly, and so you've got your findings, your recommendations, your actions, and all prioritized, so you can see exactly what needs doing, or the client can see exactly what needs doing.
Good to hear. And as for your question, do you think I use paper or digital?
I think you'll be digital.
We are now. We were hard before. We were pen and paper, diary, paper. But last Pest Tech, we went and seen the team at, loads of them. My dad decided, because he's the boss. We were going to go with the Powered Now system, so we use that now. We do. And we started rolling it out in February, because it took us a long time to get used to it, because we're just not used to it. But now, but Dad loves it. We love it. It's so much easier.
Oh,
And we've just transitioned the last customer to digital, because what happened was he wasn't reading the treatment report. I was writing in the recommendations, if you'd like to go digital, because we are now, please email because I didn't have the guy's email address. I had the phone number. And in the end, he says, "I'm so sorry. I only read the top of the sheet. I don't read it all." I eventually got him onto digital, so I'm hoping he reads all of it now.
Let's hope so. Yeah,
it's not a food compliance place. It's just it's very small contract. But he was the last one to go over to digital, and what we found was, because the reason, one of the stipulations, my dad, people won't want to do it. People won't want to do it. They won't want to give me an email address. And what we found was everyone was loving it. They were like, "Oh, I think this is great." And he couldn't believe it. He said everyone was handing over their email address left and right. He says they thought it was excellent. I said, "Well, it worked, didn't it?" So
that's the way people are these days. It needs to be emailed to them. Otherwise, it gets lost. You get something on paper.
I can actually hand an invoice to somebody in their hand, and they will still say, "I lost it." With this, it's on the portal, so they can re-download it or look at it whenever they want. Can.
But what I like about the digital reports is that you can put photographs in, so you can show exactly what issues are, what you're wanting them to do, and B, you can color it so you can have RAG ratings within the report, and they can easily see what the most important things are to do, because what you don't want is a whole lot of recommendations and it just seems a bit mind-boggling to them. You've got to give them something to focus on, tell them what the priorities are, and that will help get the partnership going, help them decide what to do first, etc.
Well, our system's been updated now to an extended pest control report, because it was a little report, and now it's up to 50 different reports you can put in it, so it's really big now, because people were complaining there wasn't enough pages in there, as in recommendations. There weren't enough, but they've upgraded. They've done what the people wanted, to be fair. So it's a work in progress. It is. So, what would you say is the future of the industry then, Graham? What would you say, apart from everyone going digital? What would you say is in the future of the industry? The next 5 years, say. What can you see coming?
I think, if I wanted to be cynical, I could say, well, we're going to lose all the poisons. We're going back to just having dogs and ferrets and cats to do our pest control.
Don't wish it into existence.
I was absolutely gobsmacked that glue boards were stopped, because that was, in my view, if they were properly used, one of the most humane methods, much more humane than using poisons where they go off in pain to die in a corner. So I was surprised that that glue boards were stopped, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get reintroduced, if we're allowed to use them again at some point, but only as professionals. I think the key thing is to stop amateurs using the products.
Problem is, a lot of people buying them from abroad and selling them as different things. That's the problem.
They don't need to buy them from abroad, do they? They're on the internet here. And
insect traps, Graham. They're massive though, like rat boards, but they're insect. They're for insects.
So I think in Scotland they're planning on banning the sale of them as well, but whether they can still get through by being called insect traps, I don't know. That would be an interesting one to see. In terms of the anticoagulants, I think we're going to get more stricter controls, as it were, on using them. So we have the 2 updates to the stewardship now. If we see the levels of residues in barn stubbornly stay as high as they are, I think we'll need to possibly introduce further requirements. So one thing I had hoped with the new qualification framework, I had hoped that we could persuade the BPCA who are leading that qualification framework review to split the insect and the invertebrate, I should say, and the rodent qualification, so that you could have a level 3 for insects and level 3 for rodents. And I think that would have been useful for two things. One, to have a separate level 3 qualification for rodents would mean that people who now are stuck at level 2 safe use of rodenticides because they only do rodent control, they would have something else to move on to. And I do know people who do that. They only work on farms, they only do rodent control, and so all they've got is level 2 safe use of rodenticides. So I think it's a bit short-sighted on that front. And the other one that I think would have been really useful is I think we're going to have to get even more stringent in the use of anticoagulants in particular, but generally rodenticides. And if you had a level 3 rodent control, then that would give something else for crew to say, look, now we're going to change it from you have to do a safe use of rodenticides to use anticoagulants. If you're using them for, that safe use rodenticide certificate might only be valid for, 6 months, 12 months or something. And after that, if you want to continue using them, you could have had to use level 3. But with it being only one qualification with invertebrates as well, it's a bit of a shame because crew can't specify that now. They'd have to come out with another qualification if they want to make it level 3, which gets confusing again. But anyway, that's where we are. So,
well, they're doing a survey, isn't there? A consultation about anticoagulants at the minute, and I'm hoping that the trade bodies fight the HSE off enough, because to have only calicocifferol. So what I'm saying is, if we just have I'm saying it wrong, I know it. Calicocifferol would be because you have in domestic situations, it's very high risk to be using it because of pets. It is, although it's good for the environment, there is that risk to pets as well, isn't there? We've also got to put that in there, and it's higher costs. And although there's risk factors and all sorts, it will be devastating to lose them all.
Yeah, you need different tools for different jobs. Absolutely,
exactly.
Cholecalciferol has its place. It's great that it doesn't cause secondary poisoning. It's great there's no resistance to it. But you're right. There's
no antidote.
A big worry, primary poisoning, and some dogs have died already. So you have to be very careful using it where there are dogs. And certainly, it's something that at Nurture we don't do. We don't. If there's a risk of dogs getting it, we obviously don't use cholecalciferol, and we have to use the anticoagulants in those scenarios.
Yeah, or traps or whatever you want to do. But
as we know, traps won't work in every situation.
That's true.
So, but at the moment, there's no alternative to the anticoagulants, in my view. So, I think what both trade associations are doing is spot on. Is getting member support to go back to the government and say, look, we just can't lose these. We'll lose the ability to control rodents if we lose.
Honestly, it would be like. Imagine if we lost them. Could you imagine the rat populations in this country? It would skyrocket upwards. It really would. It would become drastically bad, I believe. I might be wrong, but I think without that tool. But
now what you'll get is pest control will go domestic. Everybody will just have to go out and buy their own glue boards, which they can still do because they're not doing it professionally, and they can go out and buy their glue boards and stick them down, can't they, off the internet? So
I can't see them doing anything to it because they've already mentioned HSE don't want to remove the use.
I'm pretty confident.
What I mean is the reason HSE don't want the public to stop buying it in small doses is because they believe there should be an alternative, a cheaper version of people doing their own pest control. So if they remove them, they've got to remove the domestic market stuff too. So I can't see them doing it, but I'm not in charge. I don't know.
But we have to have an alternative to cholecalciferol. It's a great product, but we do need an alternative in some situations. So I can't see them stopping it.
No, I highly agree with that. I back that statement 100%. And I hope that I know the trade bodies. I know I know the trade bodies be fighting their corner because we don't want another glue board situation. We don't. We need as many people to fill in as many surveys as they can to help get the most data to show them. We do.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the BPCA are at with this, but I know NPTA have sent out a survey for members to complete and non-members. So you can fill in that survey, and every vote, as it were, counts. So it's 17 questions, which are relatively straightforward as to whether you use different materials.
I want to point out with that survey, people, has been a little bit of kick-off about the way the questions are worded. Now, there's a reason for it. When you see the final report that gets sent out, it's to put the data in. It's the questions are, there's a method in the madness, so just try and answer the questions as good as you can. There is because a few people have mentioned the way they're worded, and it's to get the data to put in with all the information that they've collected, and it will look good. It's just some of the questions, people felt that there should be a box where you can write your version of events in it and all sorts, but it's worded for that way for a reason. It is. So please fill it out.
It's going to allow analysis of the answers, and so it'll be able to be formulated into that response that's needed to go to DEFRA. Absolutely.
Well, you're on the technical committee, aren't you?
I'm on the technical committee. I'm on which technical committee are you referring to? I'm on various committees. I'm on the crew working group for best practice. I'm on the Pest Control Training and Education Forum group. I'm on the qualification framework working group. I'm on.
You're the MPTA's technical committee.
Well, yeah, I suppose you could say that as a director.
Oh, you are
as well.
Oh, I thought you were on the technical committee. That was all. MPTA.
Yeah, I think I probably am.
You probably are. Yeah, you are. But yeah, no, it's So, what's your favourite pest then, Graham? You got a favourite
pest? That would have to be Necrobia rufipes. I'm probably saying it different from how everybody else says it.
Is that the Latin way of saying it?
Funny you should say that. Yes.
Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
it's a little beetle, and it's a meat-eating beetle, and it's incredibly bright colours. So it's sort of vivid, sort of greeny and red sheens. It's a beautiful looking beetle. So that one, in terms of looks, though, not particularly nice in the fact that it's associated with carcasses and that sort of thing, with meat. But I find any insect fascinating, really. So I don't like the smell of cockroaches so much. I don't like being bitten by bed bugs. There's good reasons to hate lots of the insects.
Have you ever been bitten by bed bugs, though?
I haven't. No,
I haven't either.
I must admit, when I go to, some people say every time they go to hotels or whatever, they'll look under the mattress and behind the headboard and whatever.
I can arrange it. Just give Dr. Richard Naylor a call. I'm sure he could sort it out for you.
No, I don't think I'll go for that.
No.
But yeah, I never bother looking. But I think I did one LinkedIn post this year on mosquito bites, because I've had a lot of mosquito bites this year.
Yeah. In England? In England?
In England, yeah, in England.
Never seen them. Have we got?
You've never seen them in England?
I've never really noticed them.
Wow. Okay. Well, I did.
They're not deemed a pest, though, are they, here?
Yeah, you could say they're a pest.
Do people do? I might be sounding stupid now. Do people do mosquito treatments in this country?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Honestly, I've never heard anyone talk about it, like mosquito treatments, ever. It ever come up? I haven't.
It's not a particularly big thing. We had an invasion. What do we call it? An invasion. We certainly had some mosquitoes the which ones was it? The Asian tiger mosquitoes, I think it was a couple of years ago. The one with down in Kent, where there was a scare of those. There was an infestation for a while, but we managed to solve it. But mosquitoes are breeding in various places, so people will use. They typically use something on the surface of the water. Either it's going to stop them breathing, or is going to kill off the larvae, basically. But I've seen them breeding up in the north of the UK. Have lived up there for a while. But they're going to be becoming more of a problem with global warming.
Well, I need to look into this. I'm not happy. I didn't know. I'm going to look into this.
So, we've. I live right down south now. Obviously, I live. Which is the main reason I switched from MPTA to Nurture was the fact that the office is about 5 minutes bike ride from my house.
Well, fair enough. I
do a lot of cycling.
And you got to come down to Nottingham. Long drive to Nottingham.
Well, I've done 21 years working from home, so it was nice to have a change and go into an office and see real people.
Definitely.
I did go up to Nottingham, but it was a bit of a trek every couple of months or so.
I've been once. On my first MPTA meeting, I went up. I had the tour. And,
excellent.
I'll probably go back up at some point, but I do most of it remote now. The meetings, I do. I'm not that far. I'm an hour and a half from there, so I'm not that far.
No, bit closer than I am. So but I'm right down the south coast, and we're obviously a little bit warmer here than elsewhere. But they've been a regular thing. Even last night, I was buzzed by mosquitoes. I managed not to get bitten last night, but you hear that buzzing just going around your head at night time. It's a horrible sound.
Funny you say that though. I've got a fly trap, right? And I actually put it into one of these ID section things on your phone. And it did say mosquito, but I thought, nah, it's a false positive. It's wrong. So you're telling me now that it probably was.
Yes. Absolutely.
I just thought that the app was wrong. I thought it kept saying it and saying it. I thought, nah, that's wrong. There's something going on there.
We don't have quite a few species of mosquito in.
I'll be looking into it now, Graham. You've got my thinking. I didn't know. No other pest controllers ever talk about them in general, about doing treatments or anything. Never comes up. So you don't.
Obviously, they're a much bigger problem overseas, where you have more diseases that are spread by them.
It scares me, that malaria ones.
Malaria, dengue, chikungunya. All sorts of things overseas. We haven't got the mosquitoes in the UK at the moment that will spread those.
Good.
We have got mosquitoes that will spread West Nile virus, and luckily we haven't had an outbreak of West Nile virus, but there've been outbreaks over in America.
It's a serious disease, Graham. Is it really serious?
With deaths from it,
no.
Deaths. So we've got mosquitoes that can carry that, species that can carry that. From memory, I think we've got about 13 species of mosquito in the UK. I can't be totally sure on that. But so we have got species. But what we do get is we get occasional ones coming in on aeroplanes. I know they quite often sort of do treatments on aeroplanes to prevent them coming through, but you might get the odd ones coming through with people on planes, sort of around airports. And certainly the ones that came to Kent, they possibly came in, I don't know if they came in on vehicles, they came on ferries across the channel or something. We could start getting more mosquitoes.
Well, I'll be looking into this now. I will be.
Absolutely.
I will, definitely will be. So here's one for you. Here's a question. No, sorry, carry on. I was going to ask you another question about something else. I was just going to carry on saying that we're getting more insects in the UK now. We will, I think, the yellow-legged hornet or Asian hornet, whatever you like to call it, Vespa velutina. I think that will become endemic at some point, and that'll be a thing that the pest controllers do, not just the unit. I think within the next 12 to 24 months, I think they'll admit defeat and say, let us do it. Because we're more, not being funny, but we're more qualified in wasp nests. And I know it's not the same, but it's the same method. I believe that they will hand it over because it's going to lose. They're going to lose control. They already have, I think. But
I don't think that'll be down to their skill as pest controllers. My view is that they know what they're doing with getting rid of these hornet nests. They're obviously outside, so they've been using Vulcan for a couple of years now. They sort of spike into the nest and distribute the poison throughout the nest. They are very good at doing the control, so I wouldn't put them down on
I will say that though. But if you look at other countries that have lost control, they're following exactly what all the other countries did, and they all lost control. They did.
Okay.
But they're doing the same thing, aren't they? Jersey lost control. South of France lost control. They all lost control, didn't they? And they're all doing the same thing.
I don't know that we would do it any different from how the national bee units are currently doing it.
To be fair, no, you're right. To be fair, it's the same method, isn't it? So there's no way you could do it any differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wrong. Sorry, people.
No, I don't, it's not that you're wrong. I think, but I do think you're right in the fact that they'll lose control and it'll become an endemic pest that we have to, that pest controllers are tasked with controlling.
Be more problematic because it won't be as cheap as a wasp nest, because some of these nests are like 80 to 100 foot high, aren't they? Like in trees and stuff. Like quite a lot of them are quite high up. So you might
quite high in trees. They have secondary nests as well. So and the vicious animals. So you need specialist equipment to get high enough in the trees to do them. Yeah.
They're not always on trees. Sometimes they do end up in houses, but I've seen some videos and a lot of them are very, very high up. They are. But it'll be new pests for us at some point, Graham. I'm sure you'll want to have a go at taking down an Asian hornet's nest, won't you?
Do you get European hornets up with you?
This year, probably 3 to 4 nests. Not a lot. Yeah, not. Yeah. We don't generally get a lot. One year, a few years back, we got about 15 in a year, and that's a lot. That is
15 European hornet nests. That's good. But,
that was a few years ago, though. That was this year probably 4. The rest are wasp nests, hundreds. But,
I think it's in some ways, a bit sad killing off European hornets because they don't generally harm us. It's only if you disturb a nest, and the nests are generally out in the woods and that sort of thing.
Problem is the nests where I've treated have always been right near the house, as in danger proximity.
That's fair enough. They're unlikely to bother us, but if they do, they can pack a big punch because they're big animals, aren't they?
Because I tell people they are like softly natured. Like they're not like a wasp who will fling for you unless you attack a hornet's nest or attack a hornet in general. They won't go for you. Well, the wasp will. They can. Business, don't they? They can. But yeah, did you see a lot of European hornets in your neck of the woods then?
We do, yeah. So my next door neighbour had one this year. I've never been fortunate enough to have one. I did in 23. So this year I had 1 wasp nest. Last year I had none. The year before I had 5 in my house and garden.
Did you treat it?
Didn't treat any of them. No, if I get a wasp in the house, I pick them up and put them outside.
Oh, so you just leave them alone, do you? Wasp nest, do you?
Sorry?
Do you leave the wasp nest alone on your house?
Yeah.
What happens if it gets to the danger point where they're coming in your house and they're in the plasterboard? Will you get it done then?
If they're in the plasterboard or something, if they were bothering us, I would. But generally, for me, they're a beneficial insect because they'll go and take the caterpillars off my cabbages and whatever else. I do a lot of vegetable growing, and a bit when I get time, I should say. And they're a predator of other insects. So,
to be fair, Graham, you're right. They are nature's pest control. I do know they are beneficial. I get enough people on my post tell me they are, or the public. I'm always nice to people. I say I know they are. I just do it for public health reasons.
But if
People
they're in the
want,
wrong place, yeah, absolutely.
they are, because I've got an author coming on at some point. She wrote a book on wasps. I think it's The Beautiful World of Wasps. Serena Summoner. I'm probably saying it wrong. Yeah, she's coming on the podcast soon. She's like a wasp, got a PhD in it, basically.
Right.
Yeah, she wrote a book on it. She's very clever in the wasp department, and she loves wasps. But she will come on the Pest Controllers podcast.
Right.
He's been on the Beauties and Beasties last year. He's agreed to come on mine this year.
One to watch, won't it?
It will be for people. It will, seeing as everything's changed this year with regards to what you can use. It has. I've only had a few callbacks this year, so it's not been too bad for the change.
You have you had callbacks in previous years? Has the rate of callbacks gone up a fraction?
No.
That's good.
In general, I didn't really get many with FICAM because of how good it was, but I've had a few because I'm using at the minute Deadline Pi Dust Pro. I am, and so far I've had good results. Few of them I've had to go back, but I wouldn't say it's been tons. So,
if you're using Deadline Pi Dust Pro, that's a natural pyrethrin. That's far less harmful to the environment than bendiacarb was. So that's a positive thing. Being a natural pyrethrin, it'll break down quickly in the environment.
It's been all right so far. But then some people say it's crap, but I don't know. Some people saying, it's great, not many callbacks. Some people saying, oh, it's rubbish. I suppose it's the way you applicate it. I don't know what to say, but it's been good so far. It has.
The key thing, do you aim to get it into the nest?
Yeah, I aim to get it into the nest if I can.
That's
obviously,
obviously
you can't always, and 50-50 whether it works, but a lot of the time it generally works. But yeah, it's been an interesting year, but I don't moan about different chemicals. It's the way it is. We're going to have to get used to chemicals being removed and you're having to use other products. It's just the way of life, the way of the pest control industry. There's no point whinging about it. It would have been nice if ICAMD stayed around for life, but it is what it is. It is.
You move on and you adapt. Absolutely.
You adapt. You do.
Over the years, lots of much more harmful chemicals have gone by the wayside, and I'm very thankful for it. The likes of the organophosphates that are highly poisonous to people, and we can't metabolize them at all. So it led to a lot of nerve poisoning of people, especially the likes of farmers who've got sheep dips on the skin, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think generally it's a benefit to move on and use the less harmful products. I know we could metabolize bendiacarb, but it's still I imagine it was withdrawn for reasons that it was a bit more toxic than other products.
I think they tried a few times for HSE to try and get it through, and they just said, if you try again, we're just not going to let it through. Don't matter. This is what I heard on the grapevine, that no matter how much money you spend on lawyers, you're not going to get it through. So I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I just hear rumours, but they decided not to proceed and just remove it. There's no Vicams left on the market now, is there? Vicam W's gone, Vicam D's gone. There's no other Vicams about, is there?
There's no other Vicams. No,
that's it. The Vicam has gone from England.
No more bendiacarb.
So
it does amaze me. There are so many different synthetic pyrethroids, and they all have, they could be resistant to one, but not to others. It's amazing that we just got so many, all so similar, but different.
Exactly. But yes.
But where we can, I mean, in Nurture, one of our main sort of reasons for being, raison d'etre, ethos, whatever, is that we try and do things as environmentally friendly as possible. So we'd go for, like yourself, the natural pyrethrins where we can, instead of going for the more toxic products. And that's what we aim to do, as much non-toxic control as we can.
Yeah, it's especially a lot of bigger, because you're obviously a national company. They do generally try and go the eco approach anyway. But I think in general, a lot of pest controllers are trying to be, if they can, more eco-friendly if they can. But obviously, there's situations where you can't use that product and you've got to use something else. But it's a case of they try to do their best, don't they? And if they have to use a certain product, they have to use it.
The key thing is to avoid using products where you can. So you get your clients doing the proofing, doing the housekeeping. As with that is the biggest issue often with pests, isn't it? Is getting the client to do their part, to play their part in it,
or to pay for the proofing to actually be done. A lot of them don't. I don't want to pay that. So there's not a lot you can do. I'm not the best salesman in the world, but I do try. I do. But yeah, don't want to take any more time up. I know you had about an hour tonight, but it's been good to have you on. It's been good to speak to you again. We will meet in person in November at Pest Tech. We will.
I shall definitely be at Pest Tech. Absolutely. So
I will be there for 2 days. I will be. I'm staying in a hotel for 2 nights, so I'll be there. I'm doing the meals too. It's all new to me. It's all new to me. Never been to any of that before.
That's a very good networking event, is going to the PCN dinner.
Yeah, my wife's coming with me as well. Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, she'll be helping too.
Yeah.
She will.
She'll be helping, you say?
Yeah. She'll be helping with, because, Martin on the board, his wife helps as well at the Pest Tech.
Right. Sorry. I thought you meant she'd be helping at the Pest Tech dinner.
No, not helping.
I can imagine her waiting at the tables or something.
No, I meant in the day at Pest Tech. Sorry,
on the event. Absolutely.
No. Well, yeah, it's good to have you on. Do you want to plug the academy?
No, absolutely. Yeah, If anybody's interested in any aspect of training, then the way I'm running the Nurture Training Academy is to offer training not just to our own technicians, but to we've got spare seats at the table at any of our courses to make them more viable, more interesting. Then I'm inviting external people, whether that be to safe use rodenticides, level 2 in pest management, as it's currently called, level 3 in pest management, and field biologist training. So the level 3 pest management, I think we've got 3 external people coming on our next course, and the field biologist course I'm running in a few weeks' time. I've got 2 external people coming on that. So it's open to all. If anybody wants to join us, then do get in touch. And it's not just held at Ringwood. That's a great training venue, but held in other places, such as the MPTA office at Nottingham.
Yeah, they're starting to use that now. They are the office for training.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what? Just a quick one. So when you're not doing actual courses, what do you do? Other kinds of training, or have you got other roles you do as well? Or
it's just training.
Just training.
There's a lot to training. To develop a course is a lot of work.
I've heard.
I do other bits of training for other people, so not just internally. So, for example, I can't remember what it is, about 2 weeks' time, I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm doing a presentation for the Society of Food Hygiene Technology.
Very nice.
On pest management for them. I do the odd bits of work for the likes of Highfield Training. So
you still do work for them? Nice, yeah.
So there's I wrote the pest control chapter in Hygiene for Management, that book that the food industry uses a lot, and Hygiene for Supervisors. So I do bits of writing. Okay. I do training for other people. I still do the odd field biologist visit. So last week I was up in did meetings for our guys up in Nottingham and Leeds and Newcastle. And while I was up in Newcastle, I did a couple of field biologist visits just to keep my hand in. So yeah, there's plenty to do. It's a growing company, and there's I can always help out with helping out sort out policies, procedures, as well as training. I'm not going to get bored, put it that way.
That's good to hear. That's what you want. That is
absolutely.
Nurture Pest Control. Is that correct?
You got it right. Yeah, brilliant.
I am sorry, Nurture. I'm terrible with names. I've got it in the end. Nurture Pest Control Academy and Nurture Pest Control. I've got it. But brilliant. People know I'm real. I don't mean to say it wrong. I don't. I say other names wrong as well when I'm not used to saying a certain name. But thanks for coming on, Grahame. It's been great to have you on.
No problem at all. Thanks for inviting me.
I really appreciate it. But thanks for watching, everyone. And we'll see you next week. But yeah, thanks, Grahame. And please share the show out. Give the review on all the apps, Spotify, Apple Podcast people. And thanks for Grahame for giving up his time. It's been a good one. So thank you. So if you stay on for just a second, Grahame, I'll end the stream. I will. All right, thanks everyone. Okay. I'll see you next week.
Cheerio.
That way.